Filipino anti-vaxxers, Pacman for president, and Jollibee invade Spain. This is the Ryan Rambles recap. Let's get ready to rumble! Friends, this is the Ryan Rambles recap, the show where we talk about the most interesting things in the country this week. And we started off really interesting. So last week or a few weeks ago, it announced yung Pisot tandem, yung Ping Soto president vice president tandem. But apparently now we know for sure that Manny Pacquiao is running for president. Wow. I think I don't know. We all kind of saw this coming, but we never thought it would be real. In 2010, this would have been a really funny joke. Maybe someone like Jimmy Kimmel or one of the many talk show hosts that interviewed Manny back then would have said something like this. Because sobrang busy niya no 2010. He was doing boxing, of course. He was recording an album. At may mga pelikula pa siya. I believe he had Pacman. Yeah. That movie I think came out in 2011 if I'm not mistaken. So yung theory ko ngayon that in 2010 Manny Pacquiao was replaced by a clone. Okay? Hear me out. Remember how much we loved him back in 2010, even before that, mga late 2000s, 2008-ish, he was a hero. I mean, lahat mga laban niya, walang tao sa EDSA, walang tao sa C5. Sobrang tahimik na mga kalsada. But now, I mean, eventually, his fights started getting boring. He started becoming a bad politician. Sobrang absentee siya sa Congress. And he said his comment, yung mas masahol pa daw sa hayop ang mga LGBT. And he bought a PBA franchise so he could draft himself and then proclaim na isa siyang professional basketball player. But the crazy thing is, a lot of people are saying na baka daw may chance siyang manalo kung natalo niya si Ugas. Ugas? I don't know. Honestly, I didn't even watch the fight anymore kasi wala na ako pake sa mga Pacquiao fight. But a lot of people are saying na kung nanalo daw siya doon, posibleng mananalo siya ng presidency kasi ibaboto siya ng Filipino people. Isn't that so interesting? Parang plot ng isang anime. An anime I would watch, honestly, where the fight, or I guess the fate of a country and the next 6 years lies in the hands of one boxer and this one boxing fight. But I won't lie, I would be very, very excited. I would pay a lot of money to see Duterte and Pacquiao just fighting. I mean, yeah, like Pacquiao's old, pero isa pa rin siya sa pinakamahusay na boksingero sa kasaysayan ng mundo. Let's not forget that. So he would beat Bongo. He would beat up Duterte. I would love to see that. Okay? And then let's not forget. I think he would make a terrible president. Let's not lie. Right. I mean, we all know that Manny Pacquiao was a good heart. He's a great philanthropist. He's given lots of money to lots of different people. We don't deny that. But he's very unqualified for this position. He was bad in the Congress. He was bad official in general. And now he thinks he can become president. A lot of people are saying na unqualified siya, pero pwede naman siyang magkaroon ng advisors, people who can tell him what to do. But I guess newsflash, hindi to boxing. It's not like Freddie Roach is running for VP of the country, diba? Hindi siya sa corner ni Manny sabihin na, yo Manny, you gotta file that bill, man. Diba? This is not gonna happen, right? And even before all of this anti-Duterte stuff happened, he was very pro-Duterte. He defended Duterte's drug war. And now, na medyo nasa hot water na si President Duterte, he's saying time's up. Time's up, Duterte. He wants to cancel him. But Manny, I don't think you're allowed to steal the tagline of the Me Too movement. Diba? Sinabi na yun, time's up. You can't plagiarize. But the interesting thing is, when Isko Moreno announced that he was running, people were saying, at least, hindi siya si Pacquiao. Diba? What kind of crazy alternate universe are we living in where someone runs, tapos yung unang sasabihin ng tao, at least, hindi siya si Pacquiao, diba? So what Isko is right now, I think he's the lesser evil vote. I mean, I wouldn't vote for him. Still waiting for someone better to run. Pero siya yung lesser evil. And I have to admit na matalino yung ginawa niya. Matalino na kumuha siya ng doktor para maging VP niya. Kasi we all know that we really need someone who knows about health to run this COVID response. Diba? Kailangan natin ng hindi military, hindi force, but people who actually know how to handle this COVID thing. And politicians need a rallying cry. We think about Duterte in 2016. Diba? Sabi niya sa buong mundo or sabi niya sa buong Pilipinas, oh my God, I hate drugs. He convinced a lot of people na kung i-elect siya at kung manalo siya, he will eradicate drugs and the country will be better. Hindi nangyari yun. Hindi niya na-eradicate yung drugs. But people voted for him. At kailangan talaga ng rallying cry na ganito. Kasi kahit noong 1930s with Manuel Quezon and the Nationalista Party, sabi naman niya na yung biggest problem ng Pilipinas ay colonizers. Diba? At kung manalo siya, gagawin daw niya na malaya ang Pilipinas. And people voted for him. So in 2022, I think the politician who can convince the country or convince Filipinos that they will solve COVID or that they will be the ones to help us through this COVID crisis, sila yung mananalo. But speaking of the COVID vote, apparently maraming mga kabataan na anti-vaxxers. So nagsilabasan sila this week and maraming sinasabi yung mga tao sa social media. Okay? Sabi raw na galing sa states yung idea na maraming anti-vaxxers doon. So napulot ng mga kabataan natin sa social media or kung saan man. And I guess that makes sense. But at least yung anti-vaxxers sa US, naniniwala pa rin na totoo ang COVID. Na yung idea na lang, yung mindset lang nila na mamatay na lang kung sino kailangan mamatay. Tapos na. Diba? I'm not defending that mindset. Pero mas may sense siya sa tingin ko kumpara sa Filipino mindset na anti-vaxxers. So let's watch this video. Tingnan natin ano sinasabi nila.
Walang isolation ng SARS-CoV-2 kaya walang COVID-19. Huwag niyong isulong ang vaccine na nakakamatay sa madaming tao. Ang dami-dami nang namamatay. Zero death pa din DOH. Anong pinagbababalitaan niyo? Puro COVID namatay. Dito sila namatay sa mandatory vaccine na pinipilis ko sa amin. Marami nang namatay. GMA, magbago na kayo.
Sabi niya, GMA daw, magbago na kayo. Yeah. I don't know, nakita niyo ba yung tarpaulin niya na parang 5x7? So if you do the math, that's like what, 35 people? First of all, hindi ako naniniwala na namatay yung mga tao na yun dahil sa vaccine. But if they really did, I'm sorry, condolences. Pero kung ikumpara naman natin sa mga taong namatay dahil sa COVID, more than 37,000, kumpara sa tarpaulin na yun, how many EDSA billboards can you fill up with 37,000 people? And this is real. May isang tita ako sa province na namatay dahil takot na takot siya sa vaccine. Natingin niya kung kunin niya yung vaccine, mamamatay siya. So she didn't get it and she died of COVID. That's real. At please, wag niyo sabihin na ginawa ko naman yung research ko. I did my research. Facebook is not research. Diba? Sharing posts na shinare lang naman sa'yo, that's not research. So I think we should leave the research and leave the science to the scientists. Yung mga taong inaral talaga yung vaccines at inaral talaga kung anong dapat gawin. And they've told us that vaccines are effective. But the interesting thing is, these people, wala naman sila mga masks sa mga rally nila, they'll probably get COVID. So if they get this, siguro naman hindi na sila maniniwala na fake pala ang COVID. So let's try to end this on a more interesting, more positive, more entertaining note. Kasi after 500 years, the Philippines strikes back at Spain. We all know from our history classes, in 1521, Spain colonized the Philippines using their 3 Gs. Okay, hinahanap nila yung 3 Gs, yung God, Gold, and Glory. And then 500 years later, in 2021, the Philippines invades Spain with our 3 Cs. Chicken Joy, Champ, at Combo Meal. Okay? So yes, Jollibee is in Spain at sobrang ganda ng memes. Search nyo lang, sobrang nakakatawa sila. May isang nagsabi na dapat Jollibee Tangere na ang tawag sa branch na to, and I'm all for it. So my plan, kung ako yung fry cook ng Jollibee Spain, what I would do is I would sobrang sasarapan ko. Sobrang sasarapan ko yung chicken for the first 3 months. Tapos pag may loyal customer na, sobrang loyal na sila, babanat ako, lalabas ko yung Jolly Towel. Tapos may flag siya, may toothpick na may flag. Nakalagay lang, Jose Rizal sends regards. Yes, vengeance. Babalik tayo sa Spain. Babalikan natin ng Spain. Or something like, siguro yung ano nila, yung mga Jolly Kiddie Meal, di ba? May Jolly Kiddie Meal. Tapos pagbukas nila, yung toy sa loob, yung gomburza na may garote. Babalikan natin ng Spain. Okay? But let's see how long this lasts. I mean, baka naman in the future, magsasawa rin sila tsaka ibenta yung Jollibee franchise sa US. Diba? Kasama yung El Mesón sandwiches ng Puerto Rico at Chamorro barbecue ng Guam. Treaty of Paris, Part 2. Okay, so before we close this off, let's read these comments. Okay. Hi to Luna. Luna's camping chair and Ashley. Sabi ni Ashley, yes to Duterte and Pacman boxing. No to either of them in the government. Yes, I would love to see them fighting. Yes, and they're cringing also. Sobrang cringe daw ng mga anti-vaxxers. Sobrang tanga nila. Yes, and Chicken Joy supremacy. So thank you to Ashley and Luna for commenting, from engaging. If you have any suggestions for next week, you want me to talk about a certain topic in the Philippines, let me know. Tweet me, or not tweet me, send me a message on Instagram at @Ryan Rosala. We do these live streams every single Sunday. Pag-usapan natin yung pinaka-interesting na bagay dito sa Pilipinas. But till next week, thank you so much for catching this episode of the Ryan Rambles Recap. Peace, and I love y'all.
Hoy mga Pinoy, ito na ang medisina, nagbabagong apoy, linagyan ng gasolina, kaya't tinatanong pa ba kung kanino at sino ang tiyak na puntahan sa kulturang Pilipino? Ako na ang sagot, ang dakilang gamot.